What's going on, guys? It's the Bigs Podcast, episode number 140. And today we're going to finish up the week that was in week number 12. With me this time from Denver, Colorado, just off of watching our New York Mets take down a victory over the New York Yankees, Jason Ashby. Jason, how you feeling after watching our team win tonight?
Oh man, I'm waiting for my heartbeat to slow down a little bit. That was a tough one to watch a little bit there at the end, but like we said off air, if Aaron Judge can hit a grand slam and you still walk away with a win, you gotta feel pretty good. So I feel pretty good.
Yeah, Garrett Cole not looking all that great. Four home runs given up, four walks given up. Did not look very good in the
No
performance.
strikeouts.
Only no strikeouts. Yeah, he just didn't look like he had it. And we'll see how long they wait to throw him back out there as time goes on. See how he recovers from this one.
For sure.
But let's talk about how your matchup with Jimmy Dunlap went this week, my friend. You took down an 11-9 loss from Jimmy. How you feeling after this matchup, my friend?
Yeah, you know, I would have liked a win, but a close loss is probably second best. So, I'm walking away, still head high. Um, it's not what I wanted. I was hoping to pass him in the standings, but I'm still obviously very, very close to him. So we'll see. There's still, like we said, there's still a whole lot of season left. So I'm not counting myself out just yet, but I still know it's a mountain to climb.
It's going to be a big mountain to climb in the second half, but if anybody can do it, it certainly is my co-host. I'm hoping to see you making moves here to climb those standings. On Sunday, it looks like strikeouts by a batter were tied, and you took too many strikeouts. And Jimmy had four ticks of the on base percentage of the lead. You took that from him as well. There were three ticks on the whip, and it looks like you gave that up to him. So coming in, it was 11-9. Coming out, or I'm sorry, yeah, coming in, it was 10-9.
Yeah.
Going out, it's 11-9. Jimmy, close categories. Jimmy wins by two walks by a batter, two errors and six ticks on the whip. Jason, you won by two ticks on the on base percentage, two losses, two saves, two home runs given up by a pitcher, and a walk given up by a pitcher. You guys tied in triples with none. No triples to be said.
Nope.
For Jimmy on his bench this week, he goes 10 for 39. That is a 256 batting average. Four runs, four doubles, two homers, seven RBIs, a steal, seven strikeouts, and none of it plays. For his moves this week, he dropped Sean Murphy, his 10th round pick, for Tyler Soderstrom over four with two strikeouts. Sean Murphy was hitting like 130, I remember, when he dropped him. He's now up to like 170 something. So, like, maybe
Yeah,
something's coming, but either way, I completely understand this drop.
absolutely. I definitely understand it. It's hard when still in this half of the season dropping guys, that early in the draft, I feel like.
Mm. Tyler Soderstrom goes over four with two strikeouts a day. He gets him. CNL Perez gets dropped for Carson Spires. 6 innings, a loss, a walk, five strikeouts, a 6 and a 133 whip in Pittsburgh. Not the greatest start, but not terrible.
Yeah, he got
Uh,
off to a really
he,
bad start, and I saw because at one point it was like 3 innings, and he was getting blown up, and I was like, okay, cool, this guy is bad. Next thing I know, he goes 6 innings, so like he figured it out, and like so that was kind of a disappointment. I was hoping this guy would get bombed, but he really didn't.
yeah. He also drops Glaber Torres. Thank you very much, Jimmy. His seventh rounder for Lenny Sosa, who went 0 for 3. I'm happy to take Glaber Torres. I'll be honest. Like, I'm cheap access to a good lineup.
Yeah,
And he
if he
can't
can figure
be he
something out,
can't
I
be
mean,
this bad, right?
right. I mean, he was really good the last 2 years, so if he can figure it out what's going on, I know he misses Mendoza, so that's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Hey, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year, so let's see how much money he can make off of a good second half. He drops Carson Spires for Brandon Lau over 3 with 2 strikeouts. He drops Nick Sandlin for Zach Kelly, who throws a third of an inning, a win, and a relief appearance. He drops Lenny Sosa for Frankie Montas, 6 innings, a homer, a walk, 4 strikeouts, a 3 and a 1 against Boston. Drops Andy Pius for Chas McCormick 0 for 4 with a strikeout, and drops Zach Kelly for Jordan Montgomery. Looks like 3, 5, 6, 7, 8 moves this week for Jimmy.
Yep.
8 indeed. His MVP is going to be Wyatt Langford. Really? He was that good.
10 RBIs.
364. Yeah, 364 with 417, 3 runs, 3 doubles, 2 homers, 10 RBIs, a steal, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. This kid, he's bounced around the league a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, because he was struggling for the better part of the first half of the season. Actually, Jimmy drafted him, then he went to Cody, and now he's back to Jimmy again. He got off to a terrible start, but he's found it. Yeah, he hit well against the Mets. Yeah, it was a good week for him.
Yeah, looks
But
like he's
also,
been lighting it up.
Alec Burleson annoyed the shit out of me this week. Like, this guy was nothing, and then he blows up for he steals 3 bases. Alec Burleson steals 3 bases. I don't think he stole 3 bases in his career, and he steals 3 bases in 1 week. Get out of here.
2 in 1 game against San Francisco. Yeah. And not for nothing, the dude's kind of annoying. Like a 289 average of 12 homers and 33 RBIs. Like that is kind of annoying here.
Yeah, like, who is this guy? Come on.
I think is he batting second in the he bats second in the Cardinals lineup. So he's being backed up by Goldie and Arenado, but like that's not much to write home about this year.
No, but like he's trying to be Goldschmidt. He's trying to be them. Like, this is disgusting.
Yeah. Yeah. His least valuable hitter this week is Jeremy Pena. He did not record a hit, a 200 on base, an RBI, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. But it does say here it would have been better if he started him on Sunday. What happened on Sunday?
3 for 5, 2 doubles, a run, and 3 RBIs.
Yeah, I would say so. That's a terrible thing to have benched.
Yeah, so like he didn't get a hit whenever he started him, but Sunday he got all the hits. So
yeah,
there you go.
The Cy Young this week goes to Christopher Sanchez. 14 innings, 2 wins, a walk, 9 strikeouts, an 064 and an 071. Wow, this kid is good, huh?
Yeah, so I made the decision on Saturday that I was going to shut down my pitching because the way the stats were lined up, like I knew I was going to lose innings and I was going to lose strikeouts, which if anybody knows how I play, that's never happens. But the way that the week played out, I wasn't going to get those. So I decided on Saturday I was going to shut down my pitching. I wasn't getting relief appearances, so I shut it down. But whip was still really close. So I figured maybe Jimmy would still throw a pitcher or two and it would be fine. He throws Christopher Sanchez the early game on Sunday, and he throws the game of his life, 043 whip, and that's what brings his whip down and flips it. So, but I still didn't want to take the chance of because I one walks by 1, I won homers by 2, so I didn't want to take the chance of any of that flipping. So.
Yeah, dude, this is an incredibly tight matchup, and any wrong move could have cost you. Homers by 2, walks by 1. ERA was still rather close, about a half a run or difference. It was definitely gettable for a lot of categories should the wrong play be made.
Yeah.
The Cy Young this week is Carlos Rodon, and I don't blame you because he was just horrible. 3 2/3, a loss, 3 bombs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, a 17-18, and a 355. This was the start he was crying after.
Yes, it was. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope he does better in his start in Toronto on Thursday. Otherwise, he might be out of a job soon. Like they have so many pitchers right now. If Clark Schmidt's coming back anytime soon, or You
Yeah,
know,
I
the
mean, as long as Luis Hill stays, stays the way he's
hmm
been playing, he had a rough outing last time out, but like, if
hmm
he's for real, yeah. I mean, Rodon's just been, eh, 386, 84 strikeouts in 80 innings. It's not great.
yeah, no, it's it's not what you're paying him to be the number two. Like
No,
it's definitely not producing that at all.
no.
Jason, for you on your bench this week, you went a 5 for 17. That's a 294 batting average with 4 runs, a double, a homer, 2 RBIs, a steal, a walk, 3 strikeouts, and an error, and none of it plays. How very convenient for you, sir. Well done.
Yeah,
Well
yeah.
done.
I was fortunate because I felt like I was benching all the wrong things, but and again I shut down my pitching on Saturday, and like Jerry Jones was really really good, and Michael
Mhm.
Wacha was decent. Like I probably could have played them, but I didn't want to take the chance.
Yeah, no, I mean, you played it right. You won the majority of the pitching categories and you kept it close here against a really strong manager. I don't
Yeah,
blame you for shutting down and being able to coast to most of those categories on the pitching side.
yeah.
You used all 10 moves this week, and Taylor Saucedo over 2 with a walk, a strikeout, a 1350, and a 450 in a relief appearance, dropping Chris Paddock. You added Michael Massey as well. You added Michael Waka, as you mentioned, but he was benched. You dropped Drew Thorpe. You picked up Hunter Goodman for Tyler Freeman, 1 for 4 with a walk and a strikeout out of Hunter Goodman. Dropped Tyler Stevenson for Keegan Thompson, who goes on paternity leave.
Yeah, the dude gets a save the night before, so I'm like, okay, I know Hector Neris has been terrible. That like they can't find a closer. This guy gets a save. Let me just take a chance. It goes on paternity leave, and so I'm like, well, I can't hang on to that guy. So
Nope. Off the team he comes. Alec Marsh gets dropped for Cam Boozer, which was a waste, and then Cam Boozer gets picked up, gets dropped for Michael Toglia. Over 3 with a run, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. There's the Keegan Thompson drop for Landon Knack. 5 innings, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, an 080 whip. Michael Toglia gets dropped on a day that he hits a solo bomb for Patrick Bailey off of a waiver claim. You son of a bitch, you did it to me. I was trying to get that guy. I was trying to get that guy on my team because Luis Campusano just went on the IL with a I think it's a bum knee thing or something.
well,
Anyway,
he's back out there.
I see that. But now I've got Ben Rice, who now has a hit in both of the games that I've owned him. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Landon Knack gets dropped for Kerry Carpenter, who's now on your IL. Your MVP this week. Man, tell me you love some Royce Lewis,
I
man.
do. Like I feel like every day he hits home run. Like it's incredible. This is what I drafted for. Like this is what I've been waiting for all season.
280 batting average, 357 on base percentage, 5 runs, a double, 3 homers, 3 RBIs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and an error. The least valuable hitter is Sal Perez, a 158 with a 158 on base and 7 strikeouts. Only 1 run scored. But you know what? The dude's been carrying you for much of the season, so I wouldn't look too poorly on one bad week.
Yeah, and he had a knee issue a couple weeks ago, so he's probably, feeling a little bit. But he's playing every day. I mean, so as long as he's out there, he's gonna hit some eventually.
He's playing more first base than he ever has before.
Yep.
Hitting 280, 12 homers, 46 RBIs on the season. Real good first half out of Sal Perez. The Cy Young this week is a guy you wanted to trade to me, Chris Bassett.
Yep.
6 innings, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, a 3 and a 150. Not the greatest, um, not the greatest individual week. Like there wasn't anybody who was a standout here, is what I'm gathering.
Right. Yeah. Everybody just did good.
Yeah,
I and I mentioned how like I didn't win innings or strikeouts, which is usually a stat that I usually get those stats. But I did win saves, which is a stat that I never win, uh, because I managed to grab one from Diaz and I fell into one with Bobby Abreu or Brian Abreu, when in that crazy 14-11 win against Baltimore,
Hmm.
where like there was no way that anybody was going to get a save in that game, and all of a sudden he was the last man standing. So like cool. Didn't need it, but it was nice to have because I never get saves anymore.
Yeah, I mean, splitting the saves with the relief appearance category,
Yeah.
that's at least one that you can chalk up as a counterbalance to the other.
Yep.
The Cy Yuck this week is Alec Marsh, who pitched to a 21 ERA and took the loss. Yuck, that was terrible.
Yeah, and that was against Oakland.
Against Oakland. Oakland is not a joke as much as we want them to be this year. Like, we want them to be the 115 loss Oakland Athletics of last year, and like
Yeah.
they're just not gonna be, man. Like, they're gonna be like a 100 loss team.
But like every once in a while they'll put up a goose egg, and so you just kind of hope that's the time you're gonna stream it. But
That's
it
true.
it, it didn't work out. And it was on my birthday too. So like thanks a lot, Alec Marsh.
You still don't want to trade me Edwin Diaz, huh?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Very well, my friend. You know what? I think you're gonna have a nice second half here. I'm hoping that you make your way to the promised land. You're gonna need some moves to pay off Royce Lewis. Francisco Lindor needs to keep hitting like he has over the last few weeks. Jock Peterson and Tyler O'Neill and Christopher Morel. That's the outfield now, huh?
Yeah, and I tell you what, I'm cringing at what this coming week is going to bring me against Cody, but in general, I like this offense that I feel like it's starting to click a little bit. I went through a little bit of a dry spell earlier this season, but I feel like at least on paper, like I like what I'm rolling out here with with Lindor and Royce Lewis and Tyler O'Neill is hitting. David Hamilton is running wild on everybody. So like I like the balance that I have in this offense. Um, my pitching, it's sometimes it's hit or miss. It kind of lives and dies by George Kirby. I feel like however he does is how
Mm.
pitching looking to go, and he's been good, not great. Garrett Crochet has been nice for me. A lot of strikeouts there. Um,
Hmm.
it's an interesting team, I think.
I mean, I certainly like Jared Jones that you've been able to stash this year and hang on to, and he's been surprising, if nothing else, out of Pittsburgh. There are some moves that we look back on and we say, was picking up Matt Strom in a trade the smartest idea, or the Kevin Biggio and Ian Hamilton acquisition that
Right.
now neither piece is on the team.
Yep. Yep. No, I look, that's been a bugaboo of mine for years is,
Hmm.
making the wrong trades, but you never really know, until you know. So, um, I look, I'm liking Matt Strom. Like he's been absolutely fantastic. I think he's given up like one run since like all year. So like,
Yeah,
um, was it worth it? I don't know, but at least it gives me a sure thing in the bullpen. Um, I
with
feel like
SP eligibility, no, he's absolutely a stud, no
yeah,
doubt. He's a
yeah,
stud.
yeah. I feel like the pieces are here. It's just
Hmm.
I'm very, very buried at this point. So it's
Hmm.
gonna take a lot of work.
Well, hopefully you can get Mike Trout back at some point here soon, and that would be the best news. But we do hear that he's behind schedule.
He's not doing anything.
Are
He's
we
just
surprised? Are we surprised?
he's just sitting there eating peanuts. He's not doing anything.
Someday,
Yeah.
someday that guy will hit again. Someday.
Um, and Jimmy, look, we know he's a great day-to-day manager.
Hmm.
He's there with me right there in that, you know, outside looking in spot, but like he I feel like he has what it takes to make a run here. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, Luis Robert, if he gets traded to a contender and catches fire, he might be a piece that Jimmy's gonna love to have. And picking up Wyatt Langford and adding him to Josh Smith, and I believe he had another piece of the Texas lineup at some point.
Like
Josh
he has
Young.
Josh Young on the IL.
Hmm.
He's coming
So
back.
when
So
that kid comes back, he has three pieces in that lineup. Maybe that lineup finally starts to click a little bit.
yeah,
They've underperformed. We see Cody Bellinger on the team. We see Jeremy Pena, access to some good lineups here. We could see a second half run. I'm personally not thinking it's going to happen. I think this could be the collapse team, but we'll see.
yeah. I think a lot also rides on like Pablo Lopez and Carlos Rodon. Those are two pitchers
Yeah.
who have been very, very disappointing that could be carrying this team with Chris Sale, and instead, like I mean, look, Pablo Lopez was really good on Sunday. He benched him for that start, which I don't blame him. But
Hmm.
14 strikeouts, eight innings, nothing earned. But like he's been bad. He's been bad all
Yeah,
year.
his ERA is north of 5.
Yeah,
His
even after
ERA
that
is
start.
north of 5. He's not great. He has not been good this year. And you want to throw in Dylan Cease in that mix as well. A
Yeah,
4.14 ERA across 91 innings. Like he hasn't been great either.
yeah,
This is supposed to be a three-headed monster that was supposed to be complemented by guys like Chris Sale and Christopher Sanchez, not carried by Chris Sale and Christopher Sanchez with these guys that are not underperforming.
yeah, yep. Well said.
All right. Let's move on to the next matchup here, my friend. Let's start talking about Kostas Paragios and Mike Sherman. Now, Mike Sherman takes down a 13-7 victory on this week. On Sunday, coming in, this was 12-8. So it got one category in the deeper direction toward Mike Sherman. Um, it was all on the pitching side.
Yeah,
Kostas was ahead by 9 2/3 innings, and Mike Sherman just blew it out of the water. Three losses. Mike was ahead by. He took three losses and tied that category. He was ahead by three walks and gave up four. It looks like to lose that category. Um, Costas led by 7 ticks on the ERA, ends up losing it by 3, as ridiculous as that is. And relief appearances were tied, and Costas took that category. So, like I said, 12-8 coming in favor of Mike Sherman, 13-7 going out in favor of Mike Sherman. Close categories. Costas wins by 2 errors, a save, a walk by a pitcher, and 2 relief appearances. Sherman wins by 2 home runs, 2 wins, and 3 ticks on the ERA, and they tied in losses. I got to say this much: Sherman's team is scrappy and it is annoying.
yeah.
This is the second really good win we've seen out of him in the last 3 weeks.
Luis Severino, the Sunday night game, he struck out 10 Cubs. That's the difference right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Luis Severino pitch on Sunday. Yeah, because he also had. Didn't he also have Assad in that start as well?
Uh,
I'm pretty
yeah,
sure he
yeah,
did. I'm
yeah. He
pretty sure
did.
he did.
Yeah,
And Assad almost gave up ERA the wrong way.
right. Yes, but Severino through 6 shutout innings got 10 strikeouts.
Mhm.
So like, yeah, it was very interesting.
For Sherman on his bench this week, he goes 10 for 48. That is a 208 batting average. 5 runs, a double, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, and an error. The None of that really plays because we've got so many one categories by Sherman here. He did not make a move this week. None.
I don't think he's made a move in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
it's been a minute. It has been a minute since Sherman changed this team, but credit to him, he's won 2 of the last 3 weeks against um, Jay Ferraro and now Kostas.
Yeah, yeah.
So take it for what it is. The most valuable hitter this week goes to Bryce Terang, 344 with a 364 on base percentage, 5 runs, a double, a triple, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, and an error. The least valuable hitter goes to Nolan Jones. How large of a crow are you going to be eating at the end of this year when this guy's final line comes in? 077 with a 278 on base percentage, a run, an RBI, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts. On the season, Nolan Jones hitting a just robust 193 with 2 homers and 3 steals. 2020, my foot, sir.
He was hurt. He was hurt he missed 6 weeks of the season. So
He has missed time. I
but
do admit that.
yeah, there's still a whole another half of the season to go. So he'll be fine.
So if he can put up like a 10-10 second half,
yeah,
and make it 15-15 on the season, that would be interesting.
Make it respectable. Yeah.
Yeah, that would make it a respectable season. We'll see if he's able to do that. The Cy Young this week for Mike Sherman goes to Zach Wheeler. 7 innings, a win, 8 strikeouts, a 1.29 and an 0.29. Although Max Fried was really good as well with his 11 1/3 and 10 strikeouts. But there were plenty of dudes who chipped in. The Cy Young goes to Tyler Kinley, Hobie Milner, and I think those 2 guys were the and Scott Barlow.
Scott Barlow.
Those 3 guys absolutely just destroyed the bullpen.
Well, and Barlow, he benched he benched 2 other relief appearances from Barlow during the week. One was really bad and one was really good. So there you go.
Yeah. For Kostas on his bench this week, he goes 2 for 19. That is a 105 batting average, 4 runs, a homer, an RBI, 2 stolen bases, and 2 strikeouts. Again, none of this plays as a lot of these offensive categories are blowouts.
Yeah. Sherman's offense came to play, and Kostas's offense came to watch.
Yes, definitely. I mean, he still hit 9 homers, drove in 23 RBIs. I think those play most weeks.
Sure.
But I mean, 5 doubles and 20 runs, that's not going to play. Not going to play. A 208 batting average, 266 on base for the week. Not great for Kostas.
No.
He used 9 moves this week. He added Michael Lorenzen for a decent start against the Mets, dropping Wensiel Perez. He dropped Lucas Sims for Orlevis Martinez, which was a waste, and Genesis Cabrera that got him a clean relief appearance. And he then dropped
Orlevis Martinez is the guy that got popped for the PED. So yeah, he's done.
So now he's done for the season. So congratulations, buddy. Thanks for coming. He gets popped for PEDs, dropped off of Kostas' team. Lamont Wade gets dropped off of Kostas' team for James Paxton. He drops Kyle Bradish for Bryce Wilson, who has a bad start against San Diego. Adds Garrett Hampson 0 for 2 with a strikeout. Drops Bryce Wilson for Brendan Little, a clean relief appearance. And drops Garrett Hampson for Corey Lee 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He drops Cutter Crawford for Jamison Tyone. 7 innings, a win, a homer, 10 strikeouts, a 1.29 and an 0.86 against, of course, the Mets. So he bookends his week with 2 dudes who pitch against the Mets and are actually pretty good. Screw Michael Lorenzen and screw Jamison Tyone. They're both a bunch of cans of tomatoes.
Yes.
We made them look good. Apparently.
Sure did.
Kostas' MVP this week is a Josh Lowe, 429 with a 478 on base percentage, 5 runs, 2 doubles, 3 homers, 7 RBIs, a steal, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The least valuable hitter is Matt Olson, 087 with an 087, 2 runs, a homer, 2 RBIs, and 8 strikeouts. Oh, Frank's calling me.
Hi, Frank.
Hi, Frank. His Cy Young is Jamison Tyone, like we spoke about. His Cy Young goes to Tariq Skubal, who was not good in his appearance this week. 4 innings, a loss, 2 homers, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 9 and 2.25. He just went ahead and threw 7 shutout against the Phillies. So
yeah,
there you go.
I say he bounced back.
Little bit, little bit. Listen, both of these guys are in rough shape as well, man. They're sitting just on the outside looking in. Mike Sherman 12 under 500. Kostas looks like 16 under 500. They got to get back to 500 first before we can talk about a playoff push. Do you see either of these guys being the second half surge?
Uh, I guess it's possible. I mean, like you said, Sherman's team has been kind of scrappy, but if he's not making ads, I don't see that happening. Um, and Cassis, I mean, he's a great manager, and I just think he'd run into some bad luck. Um, I I don't see it. That I know I have a tough hill to climb, but theirs isn't much easier. So
Mhm.
I I feel like the separation is going to happen pretty soon.
I, I got you. We talked about Matt Olson being the least valuable hitter on Casas' team. Julio Rodriguez could have also been a candidate for that. He had 143 this week with five strikeouts rather, and on the season just really hasn't been himself. 7 homers, 29 RBIs, at 257 batting average. But as the guy who owned him last year, he got going in the second half and just absolutely took off.
Yeah. Well, the difference was last year, he was hurt in the first half, and so he got
Mhm.
healthy and then he took off. This year, and unless he's just hiding an injury, he's just been not performing well.
Mhm.
So I mean, yes, there's still the possibility of him being able to take off. We know what he's capable of, so yeah, he can take off at any time. Um, I just I don't know. The rest of the team just doesn't really scare me that much. I've never been a fan of Bryson Stott, Brian Hayes. I traded him O'Neill Cruz and Matt Olson. They've
Mhm.
been okay, I guess, but nothing great. Um, yeah, this offense isn't terrific, I feel like.
No, Matt Olson, I mean, 246 average, 12 homers, 40 RBIs. He's certainly not producing at the level he did last year when he hit, what was that, 54 home runs last year?
Right, and that's what everybody's chasing, and I knew that he strikes out way too much for that to happen again.
Mhm.
So that's why and he's a Brave, so that's why that's why I traded him
That's
away.
why he had to get rid of that guy. Had to
Hell
get rid
yeah,
of that guy. And O'Neill Cruz, I mean, he's having a nice little season. 243, 11 homers, 34 RBIs, only 6 steals. Like, I think you would have expected the steal total to be higher. I think you'd expect the runs total to be higher, hitting at the top of that Pirates lineup. But you're just not seeing it this year. And if you double these numbers, I know it's easy to do that. It's 22 homers and it's 68 RBIs. Like, that doesn't sound like a great season.
right. It's a good season, but everybody's been raving about O'Neill Cruz. So he's coming back from injury. Let's see. Comparing him to Ellie De La Cruz, and I don't know. He's never been on the field, so how can you possibly know what he's capable of?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. As for Mr. Sherman, I mean, we've got quite an interesting team here. Austin Riley having himself a nice year, uh, hitting 251, 8 homers, 30 RBIs. He's been injured as well. So
Yeah,
he's missed some time. There's been, some injury bugs among this. Teoscar Hernandez now sitting day to day. The pitching, though, I like the pitching with Wheeler and Freed and Luis Severino here.
yeah, yeah. There's not a save to be bought here,
No,
um, but
not
that's
a
okay.
chance.
He did just lose Nick Lodolo again, so that's a blow. But yeah, the three-headed monster of Severino, Freed, and Wheeler. I think that's as solid as it gets.
Is Nicola ever going to be healthy? Like, I
So,
feel like that dude never is going to be healthy at all.
and this time it's a blister. Like it's not even anything like
Oh,
yeah, like it's not even it's a blister.
all right. Well, get over it and get back on the mound.
Yeah, it's
All
him
right.
saying I don't want to pitch.
I mean, I'm sure they could be quite painful, but
Sure.
come on.
Yes. Yes. I'm definitely undercooking it.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next matchup here. We're going to talk about Mike Haber taking down a 14-6 win over Ari Nisman. Now, on Sunday here, it was 13-6 going in. Mike Haber untied home runs given up by a pitcher as Ari gave one up, and Mike Haber wins that category, making it 14-6. So, close categories on this one. Ari wins by 2 wins. Mike Haber wins by 2 triples, 2 stolen bases, and a home run given up by a pitcher, and they tied in losses. Everything else was kind of just sort of in hand.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I mean, 4 walks, I guess, but like, yeah, it was everything was pretty decided.
Absolutely. For Mike on his bench this week, it was a 2 for 16. That's a 125 batting average. A run, a stolen base, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, and an error. None
For the
of
4
that
walks.
plays. Yeah, there are the 4 walks if he can be absolutely perfect to get it in
Right.
there. But,
Right.
you know. Looks like he used 7 moves this week. Connor Wong for Joe Jimenez, 1 for 4 with a run and a strikeout. He drops Connor Wong for Ben Rice, 1 for 4. He drops Ben Rice for Jason Hayward, 1 for 3 with a double, 2 RBIs, and walk. Does he have like every single one of these dudes' personal phone numbers? Because it doesn't stop there. He drops
Keep going.
Hayward back for Connor Wong, 2 for 4 with a solo homer. Drops Matt Chapman for Jake McCarthy, 3 for 4 with 2 runs, 2 steals, and a strikeout. 2
Yeah.
runs and 2 steals.
Yeah. Yeah. So 3 hits. He gets on 3 times. He steals twice and scores twice.
He must have every single one of these players' personal phone numbers to know when they're going to go off. Like, oh, okay, is your penis feeling large today, Jake McCarthy?
Well, probably because then Connor Wong goes on the paternity list.
Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great? Well, Jake McCarthy gets dropped for Alec Marsh, 5 2/3, a loss, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 4.76 and a 1.76 in Texas.
Yeah.
And then he dropped Tyler McGill for Aaron Savale, who was pretty good in Pittsburgh.
Wasn't Alec Marsh my Cy Yuck against Oakland? But here he is against Texas. Like, I mean, he got a loss, but like at least it was a decent start.
Yeah. Looks like 3 earned over 5 2/3. Like,
Yeah.
it's not terrible.
No,
It's
in
not
Texas.
it's this close to a quality start. Like,
Yeah, and he was
it's
my Cy
okay.
Yuck. So yeah, you're absolutely right. He has all these guys on speed dial.
Yes. Every single one of them. His MVP this week is Nick Castellanos. I can't believe that this dude is the guy that burned you this week, Nick Castellanos. 478 with a 480 on base percentage, 3 runs, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 8 RBIs, a walk, 4 strikeouts, and an error.
He's not been great.
No, he's not been great on the season, but he blows up in the week against you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Michael Garcia is going to be the least valuable hitter. 105 average with a 150 on base percentage, an RBI, a walk, and 5 strikeouts.
Mm.
The Cy Young goes to Emmanuel Clase and his 3 saves across 4 innings, all clean with an 050 whip and 3 strikeouts. The Cy Young goes to Luis Castillo. Surprisingly enough, had a bad start this week. 5 innings, a loss, 2 homers, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 9 and a 2.
Okay.
Mike lost that ERA category by about 70 ticks. If that's not the start there,
Yeah.
maybe that's the win. But
Yeah.
listen, he won 14-6. Like, he did what he was supposed to do against Ari, which is always blow out Ari.
Yeah. Yep. That's he did what you had to do, and it's Mike Haber. So what do you expect?
Yeah. He has these guys on speed dial. He ends up getting all of this production out of dudes off of the waiver wire. Connor Wong, Ben Rice, Jason Hayward, Jake McCarthy. Get all the way out of here, Mike Haber. Get all the way out of here. For Ari on his bench this week, it is 31 for 94. Now I understand why Ben didn't want to do the show. It's a 330 batting average, 14 runs, 7 doubles, 4 homers, 21 RBIs, 2 stolen bases, 8 walks, 26 strikeouts. Holy shit. I don't even care if any of this matters. What in the fuck is happening on Ari's bench this year? It is beyond comprehension and it is beyond anything we've seen in previous seasons.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the case, and it probably isn't, but I feel like at this point, it almost feels like let me just go for the biggest bench stats possible. Like that's what we're going for here.
Yeah. I mean, he's certainly moving guys in and out of the lineup. Like I do see it on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah,
And each one of these guys in their own respect are rosterable in this league. But when the strategy is I'm going to fill the bench with literally everybody I possibly can and not run a bullpen out there, except for a couple of guys who can get me some saves, it's not going to compete the same way. And we see it week after week like this.
but it's been interesting to see what happens because now, like, he
Yeah.
just lost Tatis and Stanton to the IL. He already has
Mhm.
Blake Snell and Yamamoto on the IL spots. So like now he's playing too short. So we'll see how that plays out for him going forward.
Yeah. This outfield just got really thin for him in a hurry. And
Yeah.
like I've said, Giancarlo Stanton, up until this point, was a absolutely rosterable player this year with 18 homers and 45 RBIs. Like
Yeah.
that is well on his way to a 100 RBI season
Yeah, when
until
you're
this
hitting
injury.
behind Soto and Judge, yeah,
No
absolutely.
doubt. No doubt. No doubt. Mike Haber continues to lead the pack here. Oh, wait a minute. We're talking about Ari's moves here. He actually made 3 of them. Look
He
the
did,
fuck out.
yes.
Look the fuck out. He adds Tobias Myers, 6 1/3, a win, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, nothing earned, and an 0.95 whip in LA against the Angels. And then adds Jose Soriano, who he used his waiver claim
Yes.
the
Yes.
day after he was scratched with an injury and he goes to the IL.
So he never even appears for him.
Nope. Nope. Then he drops that guy for Miguel Andujar, 2 for 4 with a strikeout.
And that was it.
Okay. That's the week. That's the week for Ari. The MVP this week is Joey Ortiz, wherever he is. 250 with a 379 on base, 4 runs, a steal, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts, and an error. The least valuable hitter goes to Cal Raleigh, 105 with a 143, a run, a double, 2 RBIs, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. Uh, Paul Goldschmidt had a decent week, 2 homers and 4 RBIs, but he had 11 strikeouts.
Mm.
It was just a weird week for Ari. He only won walks and errors on the offensive side. So
Yep.
the Cy Young for him is going to be Sonny Gray, who was having a perfect game into, I think, was that the 6th that he had the perfect game going into?
I think it was even into the 7th. Or maybe it
Wow.
was, yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, on the week, 14 2/3, a win, a homer, 2 walks, 12 strikeouts, a 184, and an 055. The Cy Young goes to Albert Suarez, 8 2/3, 2 losses, a bomb, 8 walks, 6 strikeouts, an 831, and a 277. Yuck. That guy is
Yeah,
not good.
side note, the Orioles need some pitching.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like it's Corbin Burns and then nobody.
And then this guy, and
Yeah.
then you and me.
Pretty much. I mean, like they just lost Kyle Bradish for the year. Like I guess they're getting Dean Kramer back that soon, so yay. But yeah, they need some pitching stat.
Yeah. I wonder if they're going to end up trading at the deadline for a couple of starters because they are really in need of something. And if they lose Corbin Burns to free agency at the end of the year, that's even worse.
They got I mean, Grayson Rodriguez is there, but I don't think he hasn't shown ace material, so
No, he's a 3 at best.
yeah. So
And that's fine. Like you need those guys to eat those innings and go 160 every year.
yeah,
So like
but
there's nothing wrong with that.
no, but you can't have a team full of threes,
No.
fours,
No.
and fives.
We've seen that before.
Yeah,
We're seeing that in Queens right now.
we are.
Anyway, man, let's get to the final matchup here. It'll be Josh Haber blowing out Adam Lowenstein 16-4 on Sunday. Josh had the lead 17-3, so Adam mitigated just a little bit, to make it 16-4. Home runs were tied, and Adam took that. Josh had a 3 RBI advantage, and Adam tied that. So, close categories this week. Josh wins by the double, 3 steals, 2 errors, 3 wins, 3 losses, and 4 relief appearances. Adam wins by the triple and 3 home runs by a hitter, and they tied in RBIs. For Josh on his bench, he goes 4 for 16, which everyone should know is a 250, with a run, a homer, an RBI, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. Of course, the 1 RBI matters. And of course, it's a Yandy Diaz solo bomb that was benched on Sunday.
Yeah,
Of course it
yeah.
was.
I was confused about that a little bit, but I know Yanni's been kind of on and off this year, but um, yeah, I feel
You
like
can say it. He's not good this year.
yeah,
He hasn't been great.
273, 6
He was a
homers,
batting
38.
champion a year ago.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. He's going to end up with what? 10 to 12 home runs, maybe? And
But
he's
he's
not
you know
scoring
he
100 runs. He's not going to hit 330 again.
no.
He's not hitting 20 bombs.
He's leading off for a mediocre Rays offense. That's what we kind of knew was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And if he didn't have another batting champion type season, the Rays were probably going to struggle a little bit here. Add in the fact that Randy Arozarena is not really hitting himself. There is no more Wander Franco. Instead, we've got guys like Richie Palacios and Ahmed Rosario filling in for this,
Yeah,
and Jose Caballero filling in for this.
the other walls.
Josh Josh Lowe has been injured. Brandon Lau has not been producing. This team
Oh,
isn't as good as it used to be.
this offense is good for uh it getting on base, I guess, but there's no punch in that lineup.
No, just not feeling it. Uh, for his moves this week, he used 7 of them. Josh did. He adds Matt Vierling for JP Sears 0 for 4. Drops Pedro Avila for Oswaldo Cabrera, which was a waste because he turned around and dropped Oswaldo Cabrera for Miguel Rojas. But it went 3 for 5, 2 runs, a double, an RBI, and a strikeout. He must have borrowed the phone number from his brother, who has all of these dudes in a Rolodex.
Yeah, huh?
You know,
Yeah.
he drops Sir Anthony Dominguez for Spencer Schwellenbach, 6 innings, a win, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts, a 150, and an 083 against Detroit. Good job picking up the Atlanta kid.
Yeah, who got like destroyed his first start, right? So everybody's like, I don't want to touch this guy. And he's actually been pretty decent ever since.
Yeah, yeah, he's been okay.
Yeah.
He drops Matthew Liberatore for Will Brennan, 1 for 2 with a run and 2 walks, and finishes out the week dropping Matt Vierling for Matt Chapman on waivers, 2 for 3, 2 runs, a steal, a walk, and an error. And he drops Miguel Rojas for Justin Slayton off of waivers, an inning, a strikeout, and a relief appearance. So he wastes his waiver claim twice
Yeah.
on Sunday.
On Sunday for Matt Chapman and Justin Slayton.
There you go. There you go. The most valuable hitter, we're going to give it to Willie Castro. 375 with a 423, 5 runs, 5 doubles, a homer, 6 RBIs, 2 walks, and 5 strikeouts. I think that's doable.
Like Justin Turner was really good. Even Yandy Diaz was really good. Jaron Duran was really good. He had a really good offensive week.
Yeah, he did. 286, 359 on base, 26 RBIs, but 40 runs scored, 13 doubles, 23 walks. Yeah, he had a pretty nice week. He had a
Yeah.
pretty nice week. The least valuable hitter goes to Alex Verdugo, 067 with a 176 on base, a run, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts. The Cy Young goes to Kenley Jansen, 3 1/3, 4 saves, a strikeout, and 060 in 4 relief appearances. His 4 saves were, in fact, the difference in the matchup.
Yep.
The Cy Yuck goes to Matthew Liberatore, who wasn't terrible.
No, but Josh pitched to a 220 with an 090 whip. So
Oh, that'll do it. That'll
yeah,
do it. Well, for Liberatore, it's 4 1/3, 2 bombs, a walk, a strikeout, a 623, and a 138. Yeah, it's about the worst you're going to find on this team when he did pitch to a 220.
yeah, like he came in relief. He came in relief one day and then started the next day, and he just wasn't good in either of them. But like that's a tough assignment.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. For Adam on his bench, he goes 0 for 6, which is give it up for him. It's an 0 for 6. He does not have anything on his bench with a steal, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, none of it plays. His moves this week, he used all 10. He added Trevor Richards, 2 innings, clean relief appearance, dropping Mike Bauman. He drops Connor Joe for Blake Perkins, 0 for 3 with a strikeout. He drops Blake Perkins for Zach Neto, 2 for 4 with a run. He drops Jonathan India for Byron Buxton, which was a waste because he dropped Byron Buxton for Brent Rooker, 1 for 3 with a double, an RBI, and 2 strikeouts. I just want to point out, like, what is with the wasted move this week from like 3 different guys right here at the end of the week?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened with Cabrera. I definitely don't know what happened with Buxton because Buxton played. He went over 4 with a stolen base and a strikeout.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Hmm. Trevor Williams gets dropped for Mitchell Parker on waivers. 6 innings, a homer, 2 walks, 8 strikeouts, a 6 and a 133 in Colorado. Risky as fuck to throw that guy in Colorado.
Yeah, and I mean he wasn't terrible. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. And on Sunday, we have a 4-move blitz here by Adam. He drops DJ Hers, Zach Neto, Ernie Clement, and Kevin Pillar, picking up Kyle Tyler, 4 innings, a homer, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, a 450, and a 150 against Seattle. Adds Ernie Clement, which was a waste because I've told you he already dropped Ernie Clement. So he wasted 2 moves out of 10. 20% of his moves got wasted this week. For Jonathan India, 2 for 4 with a run, a double, a strikeout, and an error, who was a guy that he dropped just a couple of days prior.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
Byron Buxton, which was a waste because he dropped Byron Buxton immediately after. It's a vicious cycle.
Or a tangled web, whichever way you want to look at it.
Terrible. Terrible. He also added Jorge Mateo, who went over 4 with a strikeout. His MVP this week is Riley Green. And you know what? We were saying to ourselves here just recently, like maybe Riley Green is real. Maybe he is the Tigers guy. 389 with a 522 on base this week. 2 runs, a double, a triple, a homer, 4 RBIs, a steal, 5 walks, and only 4 strikeouts. Like maybe he's the truth. Maybe he's like gonna be their guy.
261 with 15 homers and 40 RBIs, like 50 runs scored. Yeah, I mean, you'll take that.
That's yeah.
You know,
That's
again, if
25
you,
to 30 homers and 80 or 90 RBIs.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. You'll take that. His least valuable hitter this week is William Contreras, 136 with a 174 on base, a run, an RBI, a walk, and 5 strikeouts. But this dude has been money all year long.
Oh yeah.
293 batting average, 9 homers, almost 50 RBIs, 55 runs scored, and chipping in with 5 steals just to make you feel good about your catcher situation. So good job, Adam, having that that guy behind the dish.
Yep.
His Cy Young this week is going to be Ronel Blanco, the guy he traded for.
Yep.
7 innings, a win, a homer, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts, a 1.29 and a 1. And the Cy Young goes to Yusei Kikuchi. 6 innings, 2 losses, 4 homers, a walk, 10 strikeouts, a 13.50 and a 2.67. This sounds messy.
Yeah. Uh,
This
he got
sounds
beat
messy.
up on Sunday, 2 innings against Cleveland. Uh, but like and like the early start earlier in the week on Monday, he only pitched 4 innings, but he struck out 7. But he gave up 4 home runs
Oh my
in one
goodness.
game.
That's insanity.
Yeah,
That's insanity. That's a messy, messy week. And I guess I'm going to have something similar since Garrett Cole just started off with 4 homers for me tonight.
there you
But
go.
I digress. I digress. Uh, Josh is having another really awesome season, and there's something that I need to say. Ben and I were discussing who we are most rooting for this year to win a championship, and the Josh Haber's name came up because we so badly want this guy to win a championship, so much that we want to break the repeat cycle of like seeing me in the semifinals all the time and seeing Ben in semifinals all the time and seeing Mike Haber in the semifinals. Like, let's have somebody break through this year. Josh Haber is the guy that I'm pushing for, and I hope that he has a huge second half.
And if he does do that, if he wins this thing, he is coming on this show. I don't care what he says.
Yes, he has to come on the show if he wins the championship. No
Yes.
doubt. No doubt. Speaking of winning championships and getting things out of the way, let's talk about our managers of the week, my friend, and let's put a bow on this here episode. Unless I forgot to do Adam
No, I think
stuff.
we're
Did I
good.
forget to do Adam stuff?
Oh, well, we
We're
can talk
good. All right.
about he's in ninth.
Oh no, we're good.
Um, what, 6 games under?
Yeah, he's 6 under. He's certainly in the fight and in there for the long haul. We're gonna see him. It's just a matter of like, can his dude stay healthy? And right now, the pitching is what's hurting him. Like, he's waiting for Robbie Ray to come back. He's waiting for Joe Musgrove to come back. He's still got Devin Williams on the mend. Like, is that dude really worth rostering until August?
I mean, I guess because other than Musgrove, like, so Musgrove is the only other injured guy he's carrying. Like, I guess it's not really clogging up a roster spot necessarily too much.
Yeah.
Um, you know,
I mean, the offense is pretty good. Like, it's
yeah,
pretty set. Freeman, Altuve, Bichette, Riley Green, Brian Reynolds, William Contreras. Like, this is a really nice offense.
yeah, with movable pieces like Dylan Moore and Jonathan India, but like he's got a good lineup here. The pitching, I feel like 1 week it could be good, 1 week it could be not so good. It's very volatile. His
No
pitching,
doubt.
yeah.
No doubt. All right. Let's get to our managers of the week and put a bow on this show, my friend Jason. Who do you have at number 3 this week? And I also have Ben's written down here
All
for
right,
for us to
I
go over.
have someone who we didn't talk about this show, but I'm going with Frank Bucco for my number 3, taking down Cody, and that's now 2 wins in a row for Frank. We talked about Mike Climb and Jimmy and Kostas, but Frank is right there too. And if he's going to keep on, winning, especially against guys like Cody, uh, maybe we don't sleep on Frank.
Yeah, do not sleep on Frank Bucco. Ben Nisman has me as number 3, so I appreciate that, Benji, as I took down a 12-8 win over Henry. Uh, my number 3 is also going to be Frank Bucco. Listen, he had a really nice win against Cody this week, and we talked about it on the previous show. Go back and check that one out. It was really, really important that Frank get himself going in the right direction here. He was sitting in 16th not too long ago. Now he's in 11th. He is what, 14 under 500 or 16 under 500. If he can get himself to 500, and he'll be in the conversation to be in the playoffs. This could be the team that we see take that charge in the
Yep.
second half. We shall see.
Yep.
Who do you got at number 2, my friend?
The guy we just talked about, Josh Haber. It's the biggest whooping of the week. Adam had a couple of interesting moves this week, so that's why I don't have him number one. But anytime you see a quadruple up like this, yeah, you have to give a shout out. So number two to Josh Haber.
All right. Number two to Josh Haber. My number two is going to go to our commissioner, Ben Nisman, getting a good, solid win. And you know what? Getting his confidence back because on Sunday, this guy will admit that he did not have all of his ducks in a row and felt like he was about to lose them all to Brian. And I had to remind him, you're a 3-time champion. You know exactly what you're doing. This is going to break in your favor. And it, in fact, did. He ended up getting that 12-6 win because he pushed all of the right buttons. Ben pulled those triggers. Good job, Benji. You got yourself number two for me. Number two for him is going to be Frank Bucco as well. Great win, as always, we see out of Frank this week. Number one, who do you got at number one?
I'll be interested to see if you guys echo this, and I have not watched the first half yet. But I'm going Bobby Russo here. I saw what he did, yeah, what he did against Jay Ferraro and just turned this shit around on Sunday was just absolutely incredible. He benched the right guys at the right time. He started the right guys at the right time. It was just really, really beautiful to watch. Watch this unfold. So hats off to Bobby Russo.
It's 28 and 2/3 innings, a win, two losses, one homer, seven walks, 25 strikeouts, a 471 and 133 to win almost every single pitching category except for walks given up.
Yeah.
Number one is Bobby Russo from both myself and from Ben Nisman. It's a 9-8 victory over Jay Ferraro. It might be the matchup of the entire season so far. It was that good, and Bobby gets this W. If they meet in the playoffs, this is what we're going to remember is about this matchup is
Yeah.
that it had an impact in the playoffs. It was that good.
That would be a marquee matchup.
No doubt. No doubt. And this was the one to watch this week. This was the matchup to watch this week.
Yep.
As for the week coming right now that we are in, I don't know. What matchup do you have your eye on this week, Jason?
Yeah. Probably. I love this Josh and Jay Ferraro again, but like let's see which one of these is for real. Can Josh really just stomp his way into the playoffs here, or does Jay say no, I'm still here, don't forget about me, and put a beating on Josh. So that's what I'm really looking for.
Okay. I've got two guys that are looking to make a second half run. I got Frank Bucco and Adam Lowenstein against each other this
I
week.
like it.
Let's see if Frank can continue this little winning streak he's on and put a stomping on Adam and try to move himself up this ladder. Jason, I thank you so much for being here with me, my friend.
Absolutely, absolutely. Always a joy and a pleasure talking not just the bigs, but baseball in general. This is the a highlight of the week for sure. So always looking forward to it.
Guys, thank you all so much for being here with us as well. And you know what? The Yankees lost tonight to the New York Metropolitans in the Subway Series. So we are happy Mets fans as we go off the air. We appreciate you guys so much. Until next time, guys, it's been real. It's been fun. And it is always real fun in the bigs. We'll see you next time.